Young friends, in this talk, we will be discussing some highlights of Indian or Bharatiya science and technology in brief. In many ancient civilizations like India, China, Egypt, the scientific activity began with the science of vegetation, botany, science of stars and constellations, astronomy, science of counting, mathematics, and science of curing ailments, medicine and surgery. To carry out scientific activity in various fields, our ancients developed various techniques and equipment. That is the technology part of our scientific system. Now, some details about the branches, different branches of science and technology. Fire is the basic necessity of life. The ancient Indian scientist who discovered the widespread use of fire was Atharvana Rishi. The clan of Angirasas composed the Atharva Veda, and Atharvana Rishi belonged to that clan. The fire discovered by a member of Angirasa clan is named after his clan, namely Angara. We call fire as Angara also. A Vedic Rishi called Dirghatama was the seer of the Sukta called Asya Vamasya Sukta in Rigveda. A Sukta is a group of mantras. In that Sukta, he described the knowledge of time. He also described the wheel and its parts like felly, spokes, rim in a scientific manner. By the way, our ancient scholar scientists are called rishis. Now, science of counting and maths. A Vedic rishi of Kanwa clan by name Metha Tithi explained about numbers from 1 to 9, big numbers, and decimal number system, which implies 0. In decimal place value system, as you know, we count like ones, 10, 100, 1000, and so on. Medhatithi gave number system beginning with 1 up to 10 to the power of 12, called Parartha. In Yajurveda, he gives the numbers as Eka, Dasha, Shata, Sahasra, Ayuta, Niyuta, Prayuta, up to Parartha, which is a million, or a billion. Some evidence of how Hindu numerals spread all over the world. B.B. Datta, in his History of Hindu Mathematics, says, quote, from Arabia, numerals slowly marched towards west through Egypt and North Arabia. They finally entered Europe in the 11th century. From 9 numerals with 0 up to calculus, many Indian mathematical discoveries were taken by other nations. For instance, at the International Conference on Indian History, Civilization and Geopolitics held at New Delhi in January 2009, Dr. C.K. Raju, a member of the team that developed our first supercomputer Param, mentioned in his paper that calculus is an Indian invention and was picked up by the Jesuit priests from Cochin, Kerala in the second half of 16th century, that is some 1550 or so, and taken to Europe. So Jesuits taken Indian calculus to Europe. He said calculus texts existed in India since thousands of years. He wrote a book called The Cultural Foundation of Mathematics. Now, science of plants and medicine. Rishi Bharadwaja also belonged to Atharva Angirasa clan, just like Atharva Rishi. and he was the foremost scientist in the field of botany and medicine. He acted as the chairman of the first conference on medicinal herbs sometime prior to 700 BCE. BCE means before Common Era, that is before Christ. He was also the originator of the Indian medical science, which later developed into Ayurveda with its 8 departments. Now, Bharadwaja presided over a medical conference also in Himalayas, which was attended by 52 other scholars. This information is given in Charaka Samhita, first chapter, passages 8 to 15. Botany later on grew into a huge science in India. For instance, only 80 plants were mentioned in the Vedas, while Charaka mentions 400 plants and their scientific properties. Father of Western medicine by name Hippocrates, he belonged to 370 BCE. He mentioned Charaka a number of times in his writings. This information is given by the book Antiquity of Hindu Medicine, written by J.F. Royal. Now, science of surgery. Charaka wrote Charaka Samhita on Kaya Chikitsa, or general medicine. Sushruta was the originator of surgery called Shalya Chikitsa. He wrote Sushruta Samhita about the same time as Charaka. Sushruta described more than 100 surgical instruments. Many of the instruments were made of quality steel and were capable of cutting human hair vertically into 2. Surgical instruments of Sushruta were of 6 types: Swastika, Sandamsha, Tala, Nadiyantra, Shalaka, Upayantra. And he described 8 types of surgical procedures. They are called Aharya, Bhedya, Chedya, Asia, Lekhya, Sivya, Vedya, Visravya. Now, agriculture and water management.
Nana.
Indian agriculture or Krishi Vidya has its roots in the Vedas. The Indian farmer has experience of not less than 5,000 years in his occupation of agriculture. World's first plowed field. There is a place called Kalibangan in Rajasthan. There is there a plowed field dating back to 2900 BCE, that is 4,900 years back. It was unearthed by the famous archaeologist and former Director General of Archaeological Survey of India, Dr. B.B. Lal. According to modern researchers, Indian cotton traveled to distant places like Egypt thousands of years ago. For instance, the dead bodies of ancient Indian kings are called mummies. These mummies were found wrapped in Indian cotton. And now water. Water is essential for not only agriculture and industry, but also for our daily use. Our ancients were experts in predicting rain and sunshine. This field is called meteorology, and also they were experts in water management. There is clear description of different types of rainfall and types of clouds like altocumulus, mammatus in Rig Veda. Science of water is called hydrology. Is in our ancient books, it's called Payas Shastram or Jala Shastram. Hydraulics is Jalatantra. It was developed science. As part of Jalatantram, Bhrigu dealt with hydrostatics or Jalasthiti Shastram, and Vasishta propounded hydrodynamics or Jalagati Shastram. Modern day Pascal's law, Chézy's principle, Bayesian's principle in fluid science find their earliest mention in the works of Bhrigu and Vasishta. Now, water supply and storage management arrangements were existing all over India. In Tamil Nadu and Kerala, they are called Erikulam. In North India, they are Jheel, Sagar, Johad, Talab, Sar, Nadi, Khadi, Kund. In the Telugu area, they are called Cheruvu, Kunta, Katta, Bavi, and so on. In Bihar and Bengal, there are Kere, Pukur, Band, Dighi, Ahar, and so on. Varahamihira of 6th century CE Common Era belonged to the city of Kampilya in present-day Bihar. He wrote an encyclopedic work, that is very big work, called Brihat Samhita in 107 chapters. The 54th chapter of Brihat Samhita is called Dakar Galam. It deals with the techniques to detect underground water. Varahamihira used botanical, zoological, and geophysical indicators to detect water. Using the methods suggested by Varahamihira, the ISRO or Indian Space Research Organization and SV University Tirupati jointly dug 150 bore wells in Chittoor district in 1981. In 1981 and 84 period, UGC or University Grants Commission dug 4 bore wells in SV University campus Tirupati, which yielded 2 lakh gallons of water per day. Now, metals and metallurgy. Metals are essential to make agricultural implements, machines, ornaments, tools for different crafts, ships, weapons, and so on. The technology to study the properties of metals, their production and purification is called metallurgy. India knew metals since Vedic times. Vedas mention metals like gold, copper, tin, iron, etc. Mercury and many other metals are used in Ayurveda. Many specimens of metals used in ancient times are excavated in archaeological excavations. Some examples are, I'll give you the place names and also the date of the specimens found there. In Rajasthan, Rajpura, Dariba, and Udaipur, there archaeologists found specimens of ancient metal samples dating back to 1300 BCE, that is 3300 years back. In Karnataka, Hutti, 1000 years back BCE sample. And in Atranjikhera, 1200 BCE sample was found. In Bengal, Pandurajar and Dhibi areas, samples of 1300 BCE were found. Now, technology and engineering. Technology was called Tantra and engineering as Shilpa in ancient India. Engineering was subdivided into different branches like Krishi Shilpa, agriculture engineering, Jala Shilpa, water management, Khani Shilpa, mining, Ratha Shilpa, surface transport, Nauka Shilpa, shipbuilding, Agni Yantra, heat engines, Veshma Shilpa, civil engineering, Prakara Shilpa, architecture, Nagara Rachana, town planning, and Yantra Shilpa, mechanical engineering. This information is given by Rao Saheb K.V. Vajay, who was the founder of Institute of Engineers. Now, simple machines are described in a book called Yantrarnava. Dandas Chakraischa Sarani Brahmanadibhihi Shakter Utpadanam Kimva Chalanam Yantramuchyate. So, the simple machines mentioned in this shloka are Danda, lever, Chakra, pulley, Danta, toothed wheel, Sarani, inclined plane, and Brahmara, screw. India was famous for quality steel called wood, what we call as ukku in Telugu. The details of ores of various metals and minerals and their properties were described in detail in Arthashastra dating back to 300 BCE. There were 10,000 steel furnaces producing 6 lakh tons of steel per year in 18th century in our country. Some other technologies practiced in India at that time were ice making, mortar making, vaccination, at a time when these technologies were not known to Britain. I already pointed out that ancient Indians produced many valuable products and exported them to distant countries over sea and land. For sea trade, ships are needed, and India excelled in shipbuilding. Rigveda mentions a sea voyage with a ship with 100 oars called Shataritra. Lothal dockyard dating back to 3000 BCE, that is 5,000 years back, used to repair our sea-going ships. Many types of ships were built by Indian shipbuilders, like Plavini, 144 meters long. Compared to these Indian ships, Christopher Columbus in 15th century used a ship called Santa Maria, which was only 24 meters long. And Vasco da Gama used Novo Gabriel, 32 meters long only. Scientific temper of ancient Indian scientists. Logical thinking and fact-based inquiry are called scientific temper. Indian scientists displayed scientific temper since ancient times. For example, Ramachandra of 13th century in his Rasendra Chintamani, a book on chemistry, says, quote, "That which I have heard of learned men and have read in the Shastras, but have not been able to verify by experiment, I have discarded. Those operations which I have, according to the directions of my sage teachers, been able to perform with my own hands, those alone I am committing to writing." Now, modern real, so far we have spoken about something in a outline. I have given outline of different sciences and technologies in our country, ancient sciences. Now I'll tell something about the relevance of our ancient Shastras and sciences in the more modern period, that is our times. There are 6 Shastras called Vedangas to explain and preserve the text of Vedas intact. You know, Vedas are 4. Now, the names of 6 Vedangas are Jyotisha, astronomy; Kalpa, Yajna, rules and geometry; Nirukta, etymology; Chandas, prosody; Vyakarana, grammar; Siksha, phonetics. There are some subsidiary subjects are Upangas. They are Nyaya, logic; Vaiseshika, physics; Samkhya, enumeration of categories of nature. Puranas are 18 in number and Upapuranas are 18. Itihasa, Mahabharata is the Itihasa. And Dharma Shastras are also called Smritis. They are social codes. So there are 4 sub-Vedas or Upavedas. Namely, Ayurveda or medicine, it is the Upaveda of Atharva Veda. Arthaveda or political economy is the Upaveda of Rigveda. Dhanurveda or military science is the Upaveda of Yajurveda. Gandharva Veda is fine arts and music, is the Upaveda of Samaveda. All the above Shastras, along with the 4 Vedas, are the intellectual property of Hindus. UNO, United Nations Organization, it has given World Heritage status to Vedic chanting. Yoga is also given worldwide recognition by declaring 21st June of every year as International Yoga Day by the United Nations. All the above Shastras find their application in modern scientific system. Some examples. Indian calendar is based on Jyotisha. Shulba Sutras are a part of Kalpa. The Shulba Sutras written by Bodhayana some centuries prior to Pythagoras contain the square on hypotenuse theorem or Karnavarga Siddhanta, known as the Pythagoras theorem in our school textbooks. Shulba Sutras contain the geometric rules and measurements to construct different shapes of Vedic altars or chitis. Some of the chitis are Shena Chiti, Kanka Chiti, Alaja Chiti, Smashana Chiti, etc. Out of these, Smashana Chiti, described by Bodhayana Shulba Sutras, was the model on which Egyptian pyramid was built by Djoser in 2650 BCE. It is called the step pyramid or mastaba. This step pyramid became prototype of later pyramids in Egypt. This information can be seen in the book Vedic Aryans and Origins of Civilization, written by David Frawley and Navaratna Rajaram. Now, Pingala, 200 BCE, wrote Chandas Sutras and classified Sanskrit poetic meters by using two symbols, Laghu and Guru, like the present-day binary numbers 0 and 1. In modern times, Gottfried Leibniz rediscovered a binary system in the 17th century. In this regard, a computer scientist, B. Van Newton of California University, USA, he says, quote, "These statements or sutras treat of classification of metrical feet in a manner that suggests that Pingala was aware of binary numbers. This scheme is exactly equivalent to a system of numerical notation we call as the binary notation," unquote. According to Professor Donald E. Knuth of Computer Department of Stanford University, USA, binomial quotients are generally, quote, "binomial quotients are generally known through Pascal's triangle. But Pascal did not invent binomial quotients. The earliest known appearance of binomial quotients is in a 10th century commentary of Halayudha on an ancient Hindu classic, the Chandas Sutra." Donald Knuth said this in his book Fundamental Algorithms. Now, Vyakarana or grammar is one of the Vedangas. Panini's grammar is not only a grammar book, but also a scientific work. Panini is recognized by modern scientists as the foremost information scientist and mathematical thinker. Quote, "Baker's normal form or BNF, which is the very basis of all computer language, has been found in Panini's Sanskrit grammar and has been widely renamed as Panini-Baker's form, PBF," unquote. This quote is that of J.J. O'Connor and E.F. Robertson of St. Andrew University, USA. Not only that, Panini deeply influenced the field of modern chemistry too. Dmitry Mendeleev of 19th century was a Russian chemist and inventor of periodic table of elements. Mendeleev was impressed with the scheme of classification of Sanskrit words on the principle of isomorphism by Panini and adopted similar scheme in his periodic table. As a mark of his appreciation for Panini, Mendeleev gave Sanskrit prefixes to 8 of the elements in his periodic table. Some 4 examples. Eka aluminium, later on it is called gallium. Eka boron, it is later on scandium. Eka silicon, germanium. Dvitellurium polonium. Like that, for 8 elements, he has given Sanskrit prefixes. This information is given by Professor Subhash Kak of Louisiana University, USA. Now, some important books, if you people may be interested to know, wherein this kind of information where we can find this kind of information. Now I am giving you some books so that some of you may, when you grow up, or even if you are interested even today, you can consult those books. A Concise History of Science in India by Sen and Subbarayappa, published by INSA or Indian National Science Academy, Delhi. Second book, Indian Scientific Heritage by Dr. N. Gopalakrishnan, published by IISCH, Indian Institute of Scientific Heritage, Trivandrum. Third book, Indian Science and Technology in 18th Century India, written by Dharampal. And fourth book is Foundations of Science in Ancient India by Dr. Satya Prakash, in 2 volumes. And lastly, Zero is Not the Only Story by Dr. Priyadarshi, published by India First Foundation, Delhi. So that in brief is an overview of our science and technology in our ancient days. Now I thank Veda Bharati and RSS Avadhanalu Garu for giving this opportunity to interact with you young people. Thank you.